Sometimes second chances take a long time to come about. My relationship with my mother has not always been what it is now. There was a time when we were on opposite sides of this chasm. When I was probably 9 years old, I was saved, went to a Billy Graham crusade with my mom and gave my life to the Lord. But by the time I was 15, I had other plans for my life. I couldn't live that life that he would demand of me, and I was just looking for so much more. I just didn't understand it all. So I rebelled. My mom, she loves the Lord with all her heart, and she's prayed for her children all of her life, and I was a pretty big disappointment. I knew that. When I was about 17, I had already become sexually active, and I ended up pregnant about 2 months. It was about this time of year, actually, in 1970, that she finally, after many days of being sick and not really knowing why, my mom's a nurse, so she probably had it all figured out. She came into the bathroom one morning when I was getting ready for school, and she just point blank asked me, "Is there a possibility you could be pregnant?" And I just looked at her and said, "Yeah." The look on her face at that time, she didn't get mad, she didn't yell at me, she didn't scream. But I could tell that I'd broken her heart. And from there, it just kind of went downhill. I didn't know what to do. I just went right on down that path of, doing what I wanted and trying to make the life that I wanted, and it just didn't work, and I wouldn't listen to her. She tried to tell me. She had taught me the way of the Lord, and she had taught me to follow the Lord's leading, and I wouldn't do it. I was just stubborn and rebellious. I spent the next 30 years of my life out there in no man's land, just stumbling and trying to put my life together the way I wanted it, but it doesn't work that way. I got into drugs and some alcohol, a couple failed marriages, failed relationships, and couldn't seem to get myself together and be happy and find meaning in my life. Even though I had this beautiful son who was just, he was a joy. He was one thing that probably kept me from really destroying myself. But I did end up in the emergency room one night after I'd overdosed on some pills, and that night the Lord asked me point blank, just like my mom did when she asked me if I was pregnant. He asked me, is this what you want for your life? Do you want to be destroyed? Do you want to live away from me forever? And I made up my mind that that's not what I wanted, but yet it still took me another 15 years to come back and reconcile to Him. In the meantime, my mom, she hasn't given up on me. She's praying, and so is my sister. So in 1999, when I married my husband, Ted, we started coming to church here. And in October of that year, we both gave our lives to Christ, and my mom was there with us at the altar. And I could see in her face at that moment that the 30 years that she had suffered and prayed for me, it was gone. We had our second chance. We had our second chance to be mother and daughter and just be close and we are now. My name is Bette Haines, and God gave me a second chance.